go. What's up? Today, quick 20 or 30 minute late night build straight from Cape Town. I started working today on a small writing app, which is sort of an app I'm building for myself. Whenever I write to think. On my website I publish a lot of blog posts all around the things I'm learning, and we've been building a small app inside of Acta called Reflector, which also had a journaling section. However, we're right now reworking the product, sort of focus more on the coaching experience. So I'm missing this beautiful journaling writing section where, over the last months I dumped a lot of thoughts and ideas. And today I wanted to just jump into sort of thinking about what the next generation writing interface could be. And I just want to document a bit how I'm building this software today. So yeah, let's jump into it. Just a small build stream. If you have questions, you can let me know in chat if anyone is watching. And besides that, I would say let's get going. I'm just trying to document what I do as we go. And yeah, so the idea of the app right now, it's very simple. I just set up the project. You have a very simple, writing interface. You will have a very easy shortcut with Command Enter to kind of save the entry and have a new one. And then the left side you would have all of the parse entries appearing. So the starting point is really getting something close to Apple Notes, something like an app people are already using, but maybe a bit more nicer for what I actually want when I write, which is something like full screen mode, a bit of different organization on the right and on the left. And then once this basic writing experience is nice, allowing people to just jump their thoughts, I want to think a bit more about how I can add sort of advanced features. This could include sort of trying to integrate LLMs in a way that's actually useful. If you think about thinking and writing, like when you write, how you write is how you think. And I personally am someone who writes so much every single day. And I also find myself interacting with AI every single day, kind of to improve my ideas, get feedback on ideas, sometimes with ChatGPT, sometimes with Claude. And I sort of have this open question, hey, is there like a better way to build such a tool where we can connect the software in which you write with some sort of second brain that is by your side, that helps you get clear on your writing, connect new ideas and so forth. So just a rough idea for today, which we're going to build. I'm just going to code a bit. Project so far is started in Cursor. I used a few technologies that I wanted to try. Firstly, this is a monorepo setup, which means we could have all the backend, frontend, all the stuff in the same repo. We're using Turbo to structure the monorepo, Bun to run the repo, which is a drop-in replacement for Node.js, and then just basic Next.js setup. So nothing too fancy. And yeah, this is what I want to continue working on. Also, the thing I'm using a lot is Composer, which is this new model from Cursor, which is just so much faster than Claude or all the other coding models. So you will see as you do changes, it really changes the way you build software, because it's faster. It's a delight to build. You again do smaller things step by step, and yeah, this is sort of the idea. So I actually just added dark mode. Before it was just light mode, so I'm just gonna add this to the version control. Alright, this already is now connected to a GitHub repo. Just so I have the code structured in a clean way right away from day one, I can look back to. And the project name I came up with for this project is ThinkWrite, because sort of an app to kind of think and write is the basic idea. But now what you see here is just the front-end element. So there's no backend connected to it yet. Just wanted to get a feel for the UI interaction before building it out more fully. And yeah, just the basic setup for now. The idea I was thinking about a bit more today is that throughout the day I have, many ideas I want to dump, sometimes it's just small notes, it's a quote, it's an idea for a video I want to do later, or an idea I want to revisit for Acta at some point. And it's sort of not ideal that I have, a written page and this can quickly grow, that I, write something about Acta. I sort of have this day page where I kind of create a new page every day to write, so far always in Reflector. And these pages can look really differently. Sometimes I just structure my thoughts in this way. So sort of this page can really evolve into a lot of stuff. And the difficult thing, if these pages grow, I actually would rather have them also auto-sort. So I sort of have a place where I can just dump my thoughts in an unstructured way, and then we have some smart mechanism that takes care of structuring my ideas into the right buckets or spaces. So the idea I want to consider is basically how can we build spaces that are sorting information based on the clusters or projects of my life. Joe, what is up? I know this guy. Yeah, man. Actually, I didn't feel like live streaming right now because it's already like almost 10. It was a long day in Cape Town, but I wanted to try it again, man. I want to learn how I can talk, write, think all at the same time. It's a bit uncomfortable because this multitasking thing freaks me out. Because sometimes I'm just quiet, thinking about what I should do, and now commenting on what I'm doing. Creates some stress, but that's okay. We had to practice. So this is my practice round number 2 for live streaming, but we're getting there. So Joe, thanks for watching. Shout out to the chat, yo. Okay, so how can we build spaces? I made an initial UI draft in my notebook where I thought it could be cool if you visualize spaces maybe down here on the bottom of the screen, say like in boxes like this next to one another. You could quickly click into a space and then sort of have a sorted overview. So let's just try maybe adding that and see how it feels. The way I always approach building UI and software is building out the front end and just playing with it a bit in the browser, because design might look great on Figma, on some sort of design you do, but then once you actually play with it and work with it and kind of get a feel for how it would feel like when using it, the intuition really changes. And now my workflow is much more just building it out in Cursor very quickly instead of doing the designs, just to get a basic UX feel. It's like the UI you can always improve later on, but the fundamental thing I think you need to get right first is the basic UX. So yeah, let's try building this spaces feature. The way I'm working is, obviously in Cursor. And in Cursor what I like to do is actually dictate what I want into the system. I'm using Willow Voice, which is a nice little software that allows you to transcribe your voice very fast. So this, is what I'm using. I have hooked it up to my function key on my Mac. So when I click it, I can basically now just talk into it. You'll see a nice overlay on the top. And when I'm done, it transcribes in just a few seconds. And this also speeds up because sometimes I'm faster at speaking than writing. And also sometimes I enjoy writing actually. So this is sort of the mix how I think about working and structuring my work. So let's go into building this basic feature. Okay, please add to the app a basic feature called Spaces, where on the bottom of the main route I want 3 pillars, and for this example we can give it mock names. One of the pillar being called Acta, the other one being called Writing, and the third one being called Reflector. These sort of cards on the bottom should go seamlessly with the rest of the app, and for now when you click the button I want to open a full screen modal in which we display for now just dummy data. Make it very simple first, focus on simple design, and think from first principles how to build this. So what I just did is basically dictate what I want, and now I'm just letting Cursor run, see how well it does on the first try. And this is how I go about building these things. There's obviously some spelling mistakes, but I kind of worry about them later. It's not too critical. And what you see right now is that the Cursor composer model, which we're using, is just significantly faster. Actually, I'm curious if it's an open rotor. Okay, so OpenRouter is a service that we're using a lot to work with different LLMs. It's basically a layer which has all of the LLMs that you can imagine, and you get just one SDK you can use for your software projects, so you don't need to change your JavaScript, TypeScript SDK drop-ins depending on the models you choose. And they also give you nice analytics, I would say, basically performance insights. So if you look at the models, you quickly see what the throughput is, how many tokens per second you get, and what the latency is. And with Composer, the new model the Cursor team released, you see just the token speed is quite insane. The only thing that was similar that I've seen in the past is called Grok, not Grok like the XAI thing, but Grok. They have built their custom chip to run those large language models a lot faster. I think are they called TPUs? No, LPUs. And this is the only thing I've seen that kind of gave speed in a similar range. However, yeah, the Cursor team figured out how to do it really nicely. So now I get faster speed, which is great. So you see now the kind of prompt ran, and we now have this sort of these bottom elements in sort of the way how I wanted it. However, the problem is that now the writing interface got wrong. So what I would do now is kind of just dictate, hey, Cursor, change that. Through your changes, you messed up the writing interface that we had previously. I want the writing interface to remain in the same full screen layout as it was before, so no changes in that end, and just add the spaces as overlays to the bottom of the browser. So what I'm trying to do is just iterate by explaining exactly what is wrong in the implementation that the model did, and now it will go through the right files and try to fix it step by step. What I also find is that sometimes what really helps is explaining the changes in a bit more of a technical way. So for example, saying, hey, this should be an absolutely positioned or fixed positioned element, because this then improves the way Cursor writes this. So if you have some background in front-end development or full-stack development, it really helps do this better. And even though this now is not perfect, it kind of is more closer to what I wanted. For those who just joined, small overview of what we're doing. I started building a small side project just for fun, just tinkering with it. It's called ThinkWrite, and I want to sort of build my perfect writing app that I wish I could use. And the basic idea is just that, Apple Notes is alright, but I don't use it too much because I sometimes want this distraction-free writing interface. And there, are some things like FreeWrite, which is something built by Farza, I think is his name, from San Francisco. We sort of have just a full writing interface, nothing special. It's not like a product meant to be profitable or make a lot of money, but it's sort of a product that I use for free writing a few times. And now I want to just build my version, just as a fun challenge. And I'm thinking about how we can integrate AI into helping you think more clearly, connect the ideas you're having, and so forth. The basic idea for the project is also that there's some note-taking tools which are quite cool. Like Rome Research, they sort of have this idea that you have a connected graph of the different pieces you write in the software, and you can link to create interdependencies. And this, in theory, is nice because you link easily to other ideas. You see how ideas connect to one another. You can build very powerful structures in this. However, the challenge with these tools is that if you don't follow the structure extremely diligently, it quickly grows into mess. And the idea is sort of that we can apply an LLM-based solution to a really nice, basic, simple writing interface to help you sort your mind. And this is the rough idea of what I want to do with ThinkWrite, which is the working title of this project. But now I'm just thinking about what the best way is to, what I actually want, so let's say I'll build up the backend more. We have all of the entries like I do in Reflector at the moment. And now how would it help me in the moment where I capture something, kind of sort of auto sort, right? That's the idea. So I drop an idea, like make a video on how to reach product market fit. I could press Command Enter and it automatically sorts it into the right bucket. So I think best next step is actually to start adding the backend. For the backend, I'm going to use Convex. It's something I discovered quite recently from Igor, the CTO from Jamie. Amazing guy. And it really speeds up writing all of the backend stuff from database to authentication to whatever you might use. And I think I want to go with this one just for the sake of speed, nothing else. So let's just see how we can get this into our Next.js app. we're just gonna follow the guide step by step. We're using Bun for the setup, so actually why is it writing this comment? Okay, that's weird, let's revert it. So here I'm sometimes trying new things, you know. There's always cool new things coming up in the developer world. For example, Bun, sort of a drop-in replacement for Node.js. And I've never worked with it before, but I just wanted to try it for this project, just tinkering, because this is kind of how I stay in touch with new technologies and so forth. So this is sort of what I did right now. Now we'll just follow this guide. Okay, we're gonna run this locally, because what I think is nice about Convex is that you get a full locally emulated environment, sort of like Firebase, which makes the developer experience a lot easier. So yeah, we're gonna go with this. It's the default. Okay, cool. I guess this is running. Cool. So there's now the fully emulated Convex backend with data, with everything, which was now quite easy. Alright. And now, because I'm lazy, I'm actually gonna let AI do the work. I want you to set up Convex in the Next.js app. I already added Convex with the Bun install command as a dependency, and also run npx convex dev. But now I want you to continue the tutorial on the web page to add it properly to Next.js application. For authentication, I want to use Clerk. I'm going to share a link below for the docs that you can check out. This is sort of how I scope out the small things. Since I fix the typos a bit. We think about auth, because auth is a bit different. You can here use basically your own third-party provider. Clerk in this case, I really like using Clerk, so this is why I'm adding both of these as documentation to the prompt, so the model can kind of pull all the right information and hopefully implement it in the right way on the first shot. Yeah, let's see how it does. So what I like to do is actually commit a lot of the small changes step by step, always in version control, because AI messes up what you do sometimes. And instead of now worrying about the right checkpoint to go back in cursor, I just want to commit it so I can easily roll back in case some changes are not what I want them to be. Now with, so there's two things now. We need to now always in terminal run the Convex backend locally to emulate, and then also the Next.js server, of course, locally. And the one thing that is unique, you need to always, at least for Convex, if you're using the Clerk or some third-party provider, you need to set a certain secret to make it work with Clerk. It's still quite simple to make work. However, it's just something to watch out for to get right. So here we're just going to add this, go to Clerk, and create a new client we can use. Like whenever you think about building an application, never do auth yourself. It will just distract you from actually building something people want. So my recommendation is always to go with something like Clerk or WorkOS. So yeah, we're just gonna create the basic component here, just to Google, sign in for now, create the application, and then create the JWT token template to make it work for the authentication with Convex, and yeah, then we should be good to go. check again if we need the endpoint. Issue domain. It's probably this thing. You can save it. Alright, so we're also just gonna do a new terminal session. So we can run convex and next at the same time. Also, we need to add the clerk keys. Adding the public key for now, so if anyone gets that, there should be no harm you can do. Just dev environment anyways. I wonder if this environment variable also works if we define it in convex versus doing just an env local file. We'll find out shortly. Get the error below. Can you please make sure that we're running convex in the local mode? I have convex running locally. Let me know if you need the documentation in order to fix this properly. So what I'm doing right now is just describing the problems, iterating over it, and trying to make small progress step by step, running from mistake in error to error. That's the life of a software engineer. You know, fixing a problem after another. But yeah, this is how you make progress. Guys, I cannot tell you how excited I am that there's 3 people watching, man. That's crazy. I'm gonna go crazy with these live streams. Just some nerd talk on building some random side project that maybe will never see the light of day, but hey, that's part of the journey. So chat, if you're there, say hi. Sounds so funny to say, man. Alright. This is actually the problem, so I'm going to just paste this also in the local env variables because I don't want to waste too much time on this. Public convex URL, but I mean this is set, right? So this should not be the problem. Maybe actually the next variable. It's just, you know, what I set in convex is just for the convex backend, probably not for the next application, and it needs it in the client. So let's try it this way. Maybe with a bit of luck it works. Oh. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, something is happening. Cool. Cool, sounds valid. Can you please now review how we're using convex in the moment? Is there any sort of sign-in we added so far? And please understand carefully if we already added some sort of data support in the database for it. Now I could just go through the files and see, hey, what did AI really do? But what I prefer now with the speed we get with Composer is just asking my way through it, and then iterating from that is just faster for me. But if I were to use, let's say, Claude 4.5, a significantly slower model, I would probably check the work more manually step by step, or just get bored and watch Instagram Reels along the way while I'm waiting for the completions. But hey, we live in this nice world now. Alright, let's take it step by step. Please start first by adding a simple sign-in, because entries should only be saved for a user that is authenticated. Then secondly, I want you to think whether we even need any functions to update the entries. Maybe in convex we can actually, okay, so let me just stop. because the problem that oftentimes happens with AI is you sort of just tell it the way you have it in mind, but you don't understand it deeply. So my example, Convex, I never use Convex deeply, so I don't quite understand how it works yet. And a mistake now I could do is basically dump everything on there and say like, figure it out. But then what you find is that AI sometimes goes in the wrong direction and doesn't figure out the right thing. So I want to know for now is, or understand, is whether I can use the database right from the client, or whether this only works from the server. And yeah, I think you can just do it right from the client, obviously. So no need to go through the functions. So that's why I want to be more explicit with this. I want you to remove all of the functions you've written and just use the database right away from Convex. Below I'm going to paste the docs that you can read and study more carefully if needed. If you need to come up with any schema according to the docs, please go ahead and do so. Man, chat, you're not active, man. 4 viewers, no one's responding. Come on, that's alright. We're doing it for the practice. It's okay, although you're breaking my heart. Probably after this setup, I'm actually gonna stop for today and just call it a day. Again, it's just, a thing I want to try to live stream to get better at building things live, commenting on the things I do. And it's just practice, because this is how you get better at things, practicing a lot. And this is my practice, my gym session for live streaming. So if you're watching this, thanks for being part and watching me fail miserably in the live streaming thing. I'm trying, but there's no improvement without trying and doing it. So, by the way, today I released a small podcast. I started a new series called Letters to a Young Maker, where I sort of just share in a short, let's say 1 or 2 minute piece, the things I learned. So far, the 3 ratings are from all of my friends. I only have 3 friends, but it's okay. No, I'm joking, but this is quite interesting because today I talked a bit more about figuring out what you should have been making, which the basic idea is you don't start perfect, you don't get things right on the first shot, and you really need to go through the painful iterations like this, right, where I now struggle a bit figuring out what I should do and so forth, because in the process of making this thing, I figure out what I should have been making in the first place, and you sort of cannot shortcut this step. It's just something you need to do. If it's a feature you build, if it's a company you build, if it's something else you build, anything in the creative domain, you need to make the thing first to figure out what you should have actually been making in the first place. And that's sort of what I return back to, even though it makes me feel uncomfortable now trying new technologies. Bun, I never used Bun before. Convex, I never really used Convex before, these sort of things. Even live streaming. But yeah, this is how you get better. This is how you figure out what you should have been making in the first place, what I should have been doing with the live stream in the first place to make it interesting to people. So yeah, this is the process of it. Also, yesterday I rewatched the live stream I did the day before, and I use and OM so much. I'm so sorry. I need to learn. But when I think deeply, it's hard for me to focus on expressing my ideas properly, but we're learning. Missing secret key. Come on. Okay. I'm gonna quickly black out the screen so you cannot mess with my secret. Okay. Now we're back. I hope this worked now. It didn't. Nice. Now we're just restarting Bun, the server. Sometimes this fixes all your problems. I think I tell my mom, like your phone doesn't work, just restart it. Same is true for building things sometimes. Yeah, not fix it. Come on. Let's see. I want to try adding it to truth. Still not working, come on. Okay, now I am to try to figure it out myself, so can you please investigate this error and let me know exactly what I should do to figure it out or just fix it? Let's see. Well, I think the keys are actually right. I just pasted them. But maybe there's some weird caching issue with bun. I don't know. Just to be safe, we're gonna restart it one more time. I'm gonna edit it here, so should be okay. Let's go. Man, why is this the case? You know, everything was working as it should be. And I don't know if it's bun or if it's PNPM or something else, but sort of just cached build with Next really fucks things up sometimes. So yeah, I would say this is sort of the intuition you also need to develop as you're building software. Let's say if you're just a noob engineer who, you know, is just starting out, you would probably just keep looking at this issue for 5 hours and just give up. But you kind of need to really know when to kind of think about this. Hey, should I restart stuff? Is there a caching issue and so forth? I think this is what experience teaches you. But the only way you get there is by doing, right? So there's no way to shortcut that. Let me just pull up the music again. And then we're gonna just check whether it works as we want it to. We have this nice signing component now coming from Clerk. We have, oh yeah, leaking my emails on the internet. Let's go. Those 4 people watching, don't email me. And if this works, we also hopefully have a working database set up. We don't. Let's go. I'll just describe the issue again to Cursor. I just tried the app signing in, and the sign up from Clerk seemed to have worked with the proper component, but now when landing on the main route of the app, I'm getting the error below. Can you investigate and fix? Again, this is my life now. Going from error to error, explaining it to AI, letting AI do the hard work. No, I think the good thing about Cursor and all of these things we have is that we, I guess as product people, we can spend more time on the harder problems, which is, I think, figuring out what people want in the first place. This, to me, is always the harder problem to solve, and the implementation is just an inevitable part that you cannot skip in the startup process. And now with all of these tools becoming available, it's more fun stuff for us, different problems that we can focus on, basically. So let's test this out. Let's go, testing this out. Nice, so this seems to work. On the left side you see, you can click, it loads very nicely. And now in Convex we probably have a nice data table, I think running on Postgres, with the basic fields, basic schema in place. And I'll just think about that. It took me 30 minutes to add a full backend with authentication, with a basic database setup. Like, how amazing the world is crazy. This is something you can do now in 30 minutes, which probably would have taken, without Convex and all the nice tools that you get nowadays, a day. At least 5 years ago, 6 years ago when I started out. And just seeing that now a day of work is cut down to 30 minutes or even less is really, really cool to see. And I really need to also give props to the Convex team. They really created such a cool backend. It's exactly the thing I was looking for quite a while. And Firebase was exactly that thing a while ago, but sort of, man, Google just messes up shipping the products. Firebase was the shit 7 years ago that I used for all of the projects and with a strong community, a lot of love. but basically the product hasn't really evolved or changed in the last 5 years, I would say. And now this sort of serves my purposes much better, because for example I can just drop Clerk in there for authentication, which is something I think I cannot do so easily with Firebase, at least from my understanding. And also what I like about this, like the NoSQL data stuff, is okay. I work with a lot of NoSQL databases, which basically means you don't have a strictly defined schema, but you just get a JSON-like document that you can define on the fly. But the problem is, once you get more into production systems, this NoSQL stuff can fuck you up so bad, because you have no real control or guarantees around how the data looks in production. And now going to a more SQL-like setup, where you have a more strict enforcement of the actual schema that you expect from your data, this helps quite a lot. So checking out for today, basic backend setup. This right now looks, really unimpressive, but it's the foundation. What I want to build, or what I want to continue to build, is just a very simple writing experience that actually feels fun. Right now this is of course very basic, but just no distractions, very simple to share thoughts. You have this keyboard shortcuts, for example, now I press Command Enter, this kind of creates then a new entry. So I want to refine this more and more. And then secondly, think more about how I integrate LLMs nicely into this. So this really becomes not just a tool to write, but a tool to also think, hence the name Think Write. And the way I still think we should think about this as a paradigm, as a product paradigm, is the mix of spaces. So you have different areas of your life, and you sort of just want to dump it, and it should go into the right space right away. And whenever you go there, you have sort of a nice overview to look at. I want to think more about what, again, we should be building in the first place, because this, I think, is the harder thing than just making the thing. It's very easy now to build a shitty product, and with the explosion of Lovable and everyone being an engineer, we see that, just a lot of shitty products get built, where there's not a lot of deep thought in how the interaction should feel like. And the slop is something, where sure, some people can make, a quick buck here, maybe hit a couple 10Ks in revenue quickly, but in the end it's sort of really short-term revenue. I think that will really go away, because those apps, they are just ass that I've seen. And this is why I also think, again, the more important angle is your product thinking, your deep thinking about the interaction, about what the problem is that you want to solve, about talking to users, about iterating, about looking at the data. This is what startup building has always been about, and it still is about. And this is something that has not been solved by AI yet to the degree where humans are not needed. This is what I want to do more, not roasting all of the lovable devs out there in the world. It's cool that you can bring your ideas to life quickly. This is a great thing, obviously. It allows more people to express their ideas, which is amazing. And at the same time, I think it creates that incentive that you can very easily just release a shitty, half-assed app to the world, and it just doesn't compare with a really well-crafted product. And this is what I will do next. So think a bit more about, hey, how does the LLM integration look like for the perfect writing tool that I would love to use to run my mind, to dump my thoughts, to iterate on my thoughts, to make decisions, to go from chaos to clarity, this sort of thing. So that's it for today. For the ones who watched, thank you for watching. See you again next time. Enjoy your evening. Bye bye. See you next time.